All right. Ugh. Sorry, everybody, running a bit late. But then again, we all are, right? Thank you for joining us today on this episode of the Transit Talk. We're going to be addressing some of your questions, comments, and concerns. So let's jump right into it. And yes, we are more than 6 feet away from each other. First and foremost, a couple of you guys have asked us if we could start doing some more Zoom meetings. So we are going to be having more Zoom meetings, and we decided on doing it the second Wednesday of every month. So the next one is going to be Wednesday, August the 12th. And at your request, some of you guys asked if we could have one in the morning. So we're going to be having the Zoom meetings on the second Wednesdays at 11 o'clock in the mornings. And we still have the regular Zoom meetings for the third Wednesdays of every month. That's our Zoom town hall meetings, which is at 7 o'clock in the evening. So we're going to be adding another one just because there's a whole bunch of information, news, updates that are coming forward literally on a daily basis. So we're going to be adding that, okay? So be looking forward to that, you guys.
Quick comment about that,
Yeah,
Roger.
go ahead.
I did post something on a Facebook group asking people, hey, you have any questions? Please email me at pwilson@twsf.org. Got some thumbs up, but I didn't get any questions. So feel free to send us questions, because if it pops up on the Zoom chat, it's kind of hard for you to read that as the, not the narrator, the monitor, what do you call it, the host,
yeah.
and moderator, and at the same time. So any questions you can get, and we can do any research we might have to if we don't know the answer right off the top.
Cool.
Thanks.
All right, you guys, moving on. Next, in our contract, our collective bargaining agreement, our MOU, whatever you want to call this little pink book, Article 4, Section 4.2, let me read it real quickly. It says, second fiscal year 2020 to 2021. Follow along with me, you guys. It says, effective July 1st, 2020, represented employees will receive a base wage increase of 3%, except that if the March 2020 joint report prepared by the controller, the mayor's budget director, and the board of supervisors budget analyst projects a budget deficit for fiscal year 2020 to 2021 that exceeds $200 million, then the base wage adjustment due on July 1st, 2020 will be delayed by approximately 6 months to be effective December 26, 2020. That is what we are living under at this moment. If that doesn't make sense to you, let me break it down in more colloquial terms. That means that our raise that we were going to receive in July 1 of 2020 is going to be delayed by approximately 6 months, and we will be getting that raise on, what did it say?
December
26th of 2020. Interestingly enough, City Hall had the audacity to ask us to voluntarily break our contract and go into a breach of contract. What do I mean by that? We were asked, along with many other unions, I think every union was asked by City Hall to forego our raises for the next 2 years. That would be a breach of contract, and we're not down with that, you guys. We're not down with a breach of contract. It stipulates very crystal clear in here what will happen if there is a budget deficit, and we are sticking to this right here. Now, because of this request that was asked of all of the unions, Local 21 and SEIU 1021 drafted a petition. The action that we are requesting and requiring of all of you watching out there, all of the TWU Local 250A members, is we are going to post the link at the bottom of this video. We're going to text you the link for this petition. We are going to put the link up on our social network sites, and we are asking you that if you are a TWU Local 250A member, if you fall under one of the collective bargaining agreements with the City and County of San Francisco, sign this petition. We're not looking for 100 members to sign. We're not looking for 1,000 members to sign. We are looking for every single union member to sign this petition. At the moment, we are still under a pandemic, but guess what? We can still take actions. And this right here is one of the actions that we can, should, and must do to let City Hall know exactly how it is that we are feeling in terms of a breach of contract. Friends, rent went up this year. That's true. Rent went up this year. And how are we going to afford to pay our rent if we have to forego our raises? So that is the ask, the request, and the demand that we are asking of everybody in here. So, Pete,
well, let me just add, Roger, you said you want all the members. How about all their friends, all their family, anybody can sign? And I do want to, you said all the unions. There are 29 unions that do work with, at least that are part of the San Francisco Labor Council, 29 unions. This idea of getting the paycheck moved back, that's not just TWU 250A, folks. That's in every contract with every union. They thought it was just going to be some earthquake, which would have been terrible, but over and done, and we would have moved on by now, of course. But that's why it was in there. The estimate is around $450 to $725 million for that deficit, well over the $200 million. So that is why it's getting pushed back. So friends and family, every union, and that amount of money.
Indeed. So you guys, once you sign this petition, please pass it along to your coworkers, your classmates, your leader, your follower, etc. Make sure that everybody signs this petition so that City Hall knows exactly how it is that we are feeling, and that no, we are not going to breach our contract. All right, you guys, if you have any questions about that, concerns, give us a call, send us an email, whatever the case may be. But I think this is pretty straightforward. However, like I said, reach out at any point in time, okay? Next, moving on. We have a new website for paychecks. Have you checked that out, Pete?
I have checked it out, but a lot of people have had issues, right, Roger, about not being able to see their paychecks.
Right.
So I called about that. We would like to make a video where we're actually showing the screen, and we're going to work on that, or we are going to ask the city to do that, because the problem is a lot of people have been having issues with it, and they just changed it, and people are having issues. So here's the two solutions that I have found, and I've seen other people post this as well. Change your browser. So maybe you're using Firefox, maybe you're using Chrome, maybe you're using Safari. It worked for Firefox for me the other day. 2 or 3 days ago, I used Firefox and it worked. The other thing is, when you go to the paychecks, it has a list of your paychecks, and you'll click a paycheck, and then what happens with your paycheck, you're going to see it pops up. Okay, now a lot of us have what's called pop-up blocker on there, and easy for you to say. So you click the paycheck, and it pops up, and you can see all the information. So you need to turn off the pop-up blocker.
Turn on or off?
Off.
Turn it off. Okay.
Yeah, it's a blocker.
Okay.
I mean, if you didn't have a blocker on, that just means, oh, you know how when you go to certain websites, something just pops up. Yeah. You might not have it on for everything. But what happened to me, Roger, the other day, I was looking up some figures, is it said pop-up blocker for this website, the SFMTA ops website or the paycheck website, and I went there and I clicked turn it off. And then I went right there, bang, popped it up, and my paycheck popped right up.
Wow, okay.
So we'll like I said, try and get the city. They should have a video. They changed it. They've changed a lot of things on there. It used to be able to see the entire calendar, and you could see how much you made. You know, I worked 8 extra minutes and this and that. They said they took it down because everybody was on the extra board and they didn't know how it would look, and they didn't want to confuse people. So we're going to try and get that back up if that hasn't come back already.
And once we get more information pertaining to that, we'll let you guys know. But for the moment, I do want to let you guys know that the only person that is going to keep the best and accurate track record of what your earnings are is you. So you have to keep an accurate record of your daily earnings, because there are many mistakes that are being made, and we are finding and catching many of them. However, there are still many more that we are not finding because there's just way too many members out there. So please keep accurate records of your daily earnings. Daily earnings. All right, you guys? As soon as we get more info, we'll bring it to you. Next, operators being assaulted. There's a higher rate of operators that are being assaulted due to the mask compliance or the lack thereof by passengers. Friends, if you see passengers that are not following the mask compliance rules, policies, ordinances, laws, etc., please call TMC and get assistance from them. Don't put yourself into a situation that can cause bodily injury to you or others. I was recently informed of an operator who was assaulted with a baseball bat. Very, very sad, very, very terrible. We're still trying to get the details pertaining to what exactly happened. We're wishing that the operator is doing good and that he or she recovers safely and swiftly. So sorry about that. It's extremely dangerous out there, and that goes to show just exactly what one of the many dangers are that we suffer here as transit operators. Pete, you want to say anything about that?
Well, yeah. So I know there's two different extreme. Well, two different. It's not really extreme, but two different camps. Some people want to keep driving. I asked about a month ago what people wanted to do, and there was people on both sides. Keep driving. Make the announcement. Keep driving. Don't get into it with anybody. Now, some people say, well, then that person's breathing back there. I can get COVID. I can get sick. I can get die. Totally understand. Problem is, folks, is we've had so many people punched in the face. We've had people spat upon. We had people throw liquid, and now this guy a couple days ago hit with a baseball bat. I'll tell you, if somebody has COVID and spits on you, the odds are much greater that you would get COVID that way. So what we're working towards is, you know, the ambassadors, maybe that some of you have seen down on Market Street. Now, they're not security, but they're a couple people. What we're hoping in the future, because Roger and I just spoke to Kimberly Burris, who's the head of security, yesterday. What we're hoping is to get more ambassadors out there. Some of you have heard that paid furloughs are coming to an end. Some of you, especially the operators, have been sent home, right? And, oh, we have too many people in the name of social distancing send you home. Well, we talked to Julie and Jeffrey about this the other day, and I asked specifically, are we getting rid of paid furloughs? Yes, they are getting away from paid furloughs, but that doesn't mean unpaid furloughs. Okay, what it means is Jeffrey's, almost quote him here, he said there's lots of work to do. Actually, that is a quote. Whether there are things to do, and they're doing that with people all over the city. And what I would like to see is more ambassadors. So, for instance, we did have an operator in April assaulted right there at Presidio, between Presidio and Masonic on Geary, there for the 38 or the 38R. And I mean, come on, there's a bus yard right there. We got people they shouldn't get assaulted right in front of an SFMTA shop. Right? If we had ambassadors on busy intersections like that, you'd be able to pull over, and if there's three of you making an announcement, I think a lot of these people would turn and run.
Right. So, that's one of the things that we're working on in terms of operators being assaulted. Another one that, we've been talking about for some time now is having a picture go up of the person that assaults the operators, putting their picture up on the buses so that people can see, hey, you guys, this person right here just assaulted a transit operator, and so that everybody could see who he or she was. So it's in the works, you guys, and for the moment, just be as safe as you can out there. Get assistance from TMC whenever possible. Please try and stay as safe as possible, because unfortunately assaults are on the rise. Please be careful. We'll bring you more information and updates as time goes on. Next, in terms of other news, the San Francisco Labor Council generously donated to us thousands of masks and hundreds of bottles of hand sanitizer. Why don't you show them, Pete?
Well, this was donated. It's your hand sanitizer. We got hundreds of these. We'll be giving those out to operators and giving some to the division chairpersons. They can give those out. We got thousands of these. These are little packets of 10 masks. So we'll be giving these to operators and to the chair people to hand those out. This as well, Roger. This stuff, the hand sanitizer that people usually use, is the gooey stuff that we're used to. This was given to us, Dean Preston's office for District 5 supervisor. It's the World Health Organization's formula, and it's a lot less gooey than that. And we are getting some of this out to the different chair people. We've got some bottles. These bottles are like $3 each. Somebody asked me, I give one for each chairperson. That'd be $6,000. So we're trying to get some distributed, but it's much more of a mist type of thing. Like I said, World Health Organization. I know that the president took us out of that health organization, but still, the formula is. The formula is good, professional, and it's not as gooey as that stuff right there. So that's out there as well.
So thank you, Rudy Gonzalez, director of the San Francisco Labor Council, along with the entire San Francisco Labor Council, for providing us with the PPE that is much needed. So we'll be out in the streets passing this out on behalf of the San Francisco Labor Council. So thank you, San Francisco Labor Council, for assisting with that.
Roger, we were
yeah.
going to talk about the signups. Remember that real quick?
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we want to just mention a few things about the signups. Everything got posted yesterday. I hope at every barn. I did see it in the email. They kept saying Kirkland's up, Presidio's up. So hopefully every division had that stuff up. One thing that is a positive note is that everything is pull in and pull out. Okay, that's something that Roger's talked to me about 2 years ago before this COVID thing. I like the idea, but right now we have buses pulling out of Aslayas Creek, pulling out, and then they're getting cleaned down at Market in Maine or so, and then the operators had to make their way all the way down there, and they weren't being paid for that. So we really fought hard for that, and Julie acquiesced and is letting us have the pull in and pull out. We think it's much safer. The operator going down isn't catching the T-bus and getting exposed to COVID. All the runs are paid through. When Roger was operating, he loved to pay. Straight through. Excuse me, the straight through. 8 hours, you're 9 hours. Personally, I'm a split kind of guy, and I know a lot of you out there are split people as well. Unfortunately, they're not offering any splits, is what I've heard. I haven't seen every single run, but according to Julie Kirschbaum, the way, because of COVID, people are commuting. Not everybody. It's not a whole bunch of people going downtown in the morning and going home in the afternoon. That it's more even throughout the day. There will probably be another sign up a few months down the road, maybe when the schools open or whatever, and maybe we'll have those types of runs available then with splits. On the extra board, folks, we're still doing DSW work, state of California law. We are all public employees, so we are doing disaster service work that is required. So some people might end up cleaning buses or doing ambassador work. So it is out there. We all still have our jobs. There haven't been any layoffs. So if you sign up on the extra board, it is possible that they will be asking you to do that and helping keep the buses clean and sanitized for your fellow operators.
Indeed, many changes.
Oh, you want to say anything about the trains are coming back? About the light rail? They're coming back at the sign up. That's a big change.
Right, and even that is still just sort of, everything is just up in the air at the moment in terms of schools opening, schools not opening, trains coming back, trains not coming back.
Right.
We're doing this, we're not doing this now. Everything is just changing, and we're sort of reacting to what City Hall is doing, what City Hall is implementing, and what Sacramento is doing and what they're implementing. Everything is changing on a daily basis, hence the reason why we're going to start doing more Zoom meetings for you guys, just to try and keep you more in the loop.
Well, one thing about the sign up, it is not only affecting our 9163s, it also is affecting our 9132. So we do have about 40 members of our union who are the fare inspectors. They have been working. They're down in the subway tunnels, basically directing traffic. People come down and they say, "Oh no, the T, if you want to catch the T, you want to catch the L, you have to go back up onto Market Street." So that's what they've been doing. Once the trains start running again, they're going into training for a new type of TFI program where they actually might ride on the coaches with you, which does, I've always said that when people talk about how dangerous jobs are for people out there, I'm like, certain jobs have a partner on a bus or in a squad car or whatever, but it'll be nice to have a TFI come on your bus every once in a while, ride with you for a few stops, I feel, for the security issue. So that will be happening in the future. We'll have more information about what's happening with our fellow TWU workers. And you know what, Roger, one thing that I forgot to tell you, but we did talk about this before. It was on social media. A bunch of people were saying, "Hey, did anybody get that $500 check from the SFMTA?" Do you know what I'm talking about? You asked me the other day, how many did we get 26 paychecks?
I think that's the ending of the fiscal year.
Exactly. So we have 26 pay periods, but how many paychecks do we get? 27. Because what happens, folks, is June 30th, the SFMTA, the city and county of San Francisco, wants to finish their financial books. So they give us a check, bang, for then, but then they finish out the pay period and give you another check. So instead of getting one bigger check, you get two smaller checks at this time of the year. So that's why there was that extra check.
Good to know. All right, other news. Let's see. We talked about the hand sanitizer. We talked about the masks. Other news. Let's see. Friends, please be careful in terms of what you do, what you say, and what you post on our social network sites. Do not post a video of yourself driving the bus while holding a cell phone in your hand so that you can, quote, teach others how to properly make left and right turns. Don't do that. Please do not do that. Okay? Be very careful what you post on social media and on our social network sites because everybody is watching. All right? So that's my word of advice that I have to give to you guys. And also get ready for more upcoming Zoom meetings and other topics such as the election, who we're endorsing, propositions, candidates running for office, etc. So that's it for me. I think that's it for us. Pete, final 30 seconds.
No, just what you said, Roger, about cell phones on buses and everything like that, folks. The union is here for you. Your chairperson will support you on your step one, your Skelly. Then we jump in, I jump in at step two and step three if it gets to that. Please do the best that you can to make, as you've heard this 1,000 times, make complete stops. Don't you have your cell phone turned off and stowed. I get a lot of cases where people are coming in and they expect us just to come in, wave a magic wand, folks. It doesn't happen like that. If they have you on video, there are certain stops. If you're at Woods, ask Lori Woods Bowman, your chairperson. They went out. She and Camilla and Jose, her staff, went out at those tricky stops and encouraged people to stop. Please do that. And I do want to show you this. I don't know if you can find these on buses anymore, but if you can find these on buses, it's something the SFMTA put out there. It's like, oh, give us some feedback. The bus number, tell us what bus number it is and how your ride was. Now, what I used to do is guess what? I put my name, I put driver 4424 on here. And in those infrequent times that people were getting off the bus and say, hey, thanks, that was really nice. I said, oh, here, let Muni know. See, Muni left them on the bus. I really want good feedback for our people. So I would hand those to the passengers. So stay safe, like Roger said, and stay out of your manager's office.
Indeed. Thank you, everybody. Like I said, please be very careful what you post on social media. And until next time, be safe out there, you guys. Let's get out of here.
Get that mask.